what is the darkest place you ever gone in your mind? Is there a time, a period of time, a moment that you remember that was difficult for you?
I mean, when I was 18, my best friend died of a heroin overdose. And it was like and then shortly after that, one of my other best friends committed suicide. And that sort of like coming into adulthood, dealing with two of the most important people in my life dying in extremely disturbing, violent ways was a lot. That was a lot.
Do you miss them?
Yeah, definitely miss them.
Did that make you think about your own life, about the finiteness of your own life, the places your mind can go? Did you ever, in the distance, far away, contemplate just your own death, or maybe even taking your own life?
Oh, never. Oh no. I love my life. I cannot fathom suicide. I'm so scared of death. I'm too scared of death. My manager, my manager's like the most zen guy. My manager's always like, you need to accept death. You need to accept death. And I'm like, look, I can do your meditation. I can do the meditation, but I cannot accept death.
I will terrified of death.
I'm terrified of death. I will like fight. Although I actually think death is important. I recently went to this meeting about immortality. And in the process of
that's the actual topic of the meeting. All right, I'm sorry.
No, it was this girl. It was a bunch of people working on like anti-aging, like stuff. It was like some like seminary thing about it, and I went in really excited. I was like, yeah, like okay, like what do you got? Like how can I live for 500 years or 1,000 years? And then like over the course of the meeting, like it was sort of like it was like 2 or 3 days after the Russian invasion started, and I was like, man, like what if Putin was immortal? Like what if I'm like, man, maybe immortality is not good. I mean, like if you get into the later Dune stuff, the immortals cause a lot of problem because as we were talking about earlier with the music and like brains calcify, like good people could become immortal, but bad people could become immortal. But I also think even the best people, power corrupts and power alienates you from like the common human experience. And
right, so the people that get more and more powerful,
even the best people who like whose brains are amazing, like I think death might be important. I think death is part of like I think with AI, one thing we might want to consider, I don't know, when I talk about AI, I'm such not an expert, and probably everyone has all these ideas and they're already figured out, but when
nobody is an expert in anything. See, okay, go ahead.
But when
you were talking about,
but I like it's just like I think some kind of pruning, but it's a tricky thing because if there's too much of a focus on youth culture, then you don't have the wisdom. So I feel like we're in a tricky moment right now in society where it's like we've really perfected living for a long time. So there's all these really like old people who are like really voting against the well-being of the young people, and like it's like there shouldn't be all this student debt, and we need like healthcare, like universal healthcare, and like just voting against like best interests. But then you have all these young people that don't have the wisdom that are like yeah, we need communism and stuff, and it's just like literally I got canceled at one point for I ironically used a Stalin quote in my high school yearbook, but it was actually like a diss against my high school.
I saw that.
Yeah. And people were like, you used to be a Stalinist and now you're a class traitor. And it's like, oh man, just like, please Google Stalin.
Yeah.
Please Google Stalin. Like,
ignoring the lessons of history. Yes.
And it's like, we're in this really weird middle ground where it's like, we are not finding the happy medium between wisdom and fresh ideas, and they're fighting each other. And it's like, really, like what we need is like the fresh ideas and the wisdom to be like collaborating. And it's like,
well, the fighting in a way is the searching for the happy medium, and in a way, maybe we are finding the happy medium. Maybe that's what the happy medium looks like. And for AI systems, there has to be. It's you have reinforcement learning. You have the dance between exploration and exploitation, sort of doing crazy stuff to see if there's something better than what you think is the optimal, and then doing the optimal thing and dancing back and forth from that. You would, Stuart Russell, I don't know if you know that is AI guy with thinks about sort of how to control super intelligent AI systems. And his idea is that we should inject uncertainty and sort of humility into AI systems, that they never, as they get wiser and wiser and wiser and more intelligent, they're never really sure. They always doubt themselves. And in some sense, when you think of young people, that's a mechanism for doubt. It's like it's how society doubts whether the thing it has converged towards is the right answer. So the voices of the young people is a society asking itself a question. The way I've been doing stuff for the past 50 years, maybe it's the wrong way. And so you can have all of that within one AI system.
I also think, though, that we need to, I mean, actually, that's actually really interesting and really cool. But I also think there's a fine balance of, I think we maybe also overvalue the idea that the old systems are always bad. And I think there are things that we are perfecting, and we might be accidentally overthrowing things that we actually have gotten to a good point.
Yeah.
Just because we value disruption so much, and we value fighting against the generations before us so much, that like there's also an aspect of like sometimes we're taking 2 steps forward, 1 step back, because okay, maybe we kind of did solve this thing and now we're like fucking it up, and so I think there's like a middle ground there.